right, welcome ladies. Hi, my name is Bethany Reyes. I am your elite leader, and tonight we're talking about prospecting. This is one of the skills that Eric Worre said is so important to your business. So he actually listed at the Empower You I went to, he listed, I believe there were 6 skills, and one of those skills is prospecting and then inviting your prospects to look more into your business. And so when I was looking at that, I realized that maybe a lot of you guys don't know how to create new contacts, how to create new prospects in your business. Maybe you have your friends and family and you're like, okay, so I've talked to all those people. What do I do now? So I am going to walk you through some different tips on, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 different ways you can meet new people. Thank you, sweetheart. I got it. I have 5 new ways you can meet new people. So you're going to learn 5 new ways to create new contacts. And then I'm going to talk about how to build a relationship with them and how to initiate the conversation. And then the last thing is going to be 5 ways to transition that into your business, transition the conversation into your business. So this is going to be jam-packed with stuff. So hopefully you have your pens and papers and you're ready to go. I might have to plug in my computer here in a second. Awesome. Okay, so the first thing is, where do you find people? Okay, if you've started your business, you should have done your launch party, right? And then you've hopefully have talked to your friends and family. Now, here's the thing. Don't give me the sob story that you talked to everyone and you talked to 5 people. I don't buy it, okay? People are like, I talked to everyone. And they talk to their mom, they talk to their sister, they talk to their best friend, they talk to their teacher, whatever. They talk to 5 people, and maybe these people said no, and they've talked to everyone. I don't buy it, okay? So if you have not talked to every single girl in your friend list, don't give me that story, okay? Because I don't believe it. Now, maybe you haven't talked to a few people because you haven't talked to them in like 20 or 10 years. Well, start a conversation with them, strike up a conversation with them again, and don't just jump into your business. We'll talk about that, but there's no excuse to not talk to them. Just refresh that conversation again and catch up with them. All right, so the first and number 1 way to meet new people, and you guys are going to know it, you probably already think it, you're like, don't say it, parties, okay? Parties. You guys, I started this business with 400 Facebook friends, and that's not a lot. And I was living in El Salvador, so I was very limited on how to find new people to talk to me. So when I started, I made a goal every single month to have at least 10 parties, at least, because I knew I needed to grow my business as quickly as possible. I wish someone had told me this in the beginning. I didn't realize this secret until later, but you want to grow your network as fast as possible, okay? You want to get as many new contacts and as many new friends as quickly as possible. Amor? Okay, so, sorry, it's just distracting me a little bit. Okay, so how you do that is you do your launch to your business, right? You do your launch party, and then you message every single person that you can think of and offer a beauty class for them. Now, if you've messaged 200 people and all of them said no, you're saying something wrong, and you need to message me so I can hopefully help you change that. But you want to try to book at least 10 a month. When I first started, I did everything underneath the blue moon of what I could do, and I was telling the girls in the new presenter chat, I had one for my brother. I said, Luke, you're doing this for me. You're going to do it. And I did one for my husband and his girls that were on, I didn't want to say girlfriends, his friends that were girls. And then, my mom. So it doesn't matter who it is. You can do it for men too. Say, hey, do you have friends on Facebook that are girls? Cool. Let me do one for you. So try to get as many parties as possible. If you can only get 5, do it, okay? And then at the end of those, guess what? You're going to offer those girls a beauty class to get outside of your network. Now, this is so important. Your parties are not for selling. So stop focusing on selling. Your parties are for making friends. I go into parties all the time, and I don't want to be friends with the person that's hosting it, like the person that's doing it. I'm like, ugh, this person's so salesy and pushy, and I don't want to be her friend because then she's going to sell to me. Okay. So ask yourself, would I want to be my friend? I know that sounds weird, but would you want to be your friend based on what you put out there? If everything you put into your parties is like, buy this, here's a picture of the kudos, here's my link, order now. Like, no, they're not gonna be your friend, okay? Your focus is to make friends and send friend requests to those people in the beauty classes. Number one. Number two is interest groups. Do you have a hobby? What do you like to do? Right? Ask yourself, what do I like to do? I'm like, I don't know. I got married and I feel like I have no life. I'm sure you feel that way with kids, but maybe what you like to do is be a mom. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys where to find some interest groups on Facebook. So I'm going to open up my Facebook here. All right, so you should be able to see my screen here. So I'm going to show you guys, oopsie daisy. All right, so if you're trying to find an interest group, you're going to go on Facebook and you're going to type in an interest, okay? So if your interest is being a mom, mommies, okay? You're going to type that in and you're going to click groups, okay? And then you're going to look through here, Pinellas County moms. I live in Pinellas County, so maybe that or Mommy Talk or Christian Wives and Moms. Ooh, I'm going to join that one. That one sounds good, actually. Oh, they're going to ask me stuff. Okay, never mind, not right now. All right, maybe later. Oh, let's cancel that for now. But you can go in here and you can look for any of these mommy groups that you might relate to. Now, if maybe you're passionate about, I don't know, what do you guys like? Knitting? I don't know. People like to knit now. So knit and chat. Look at that, knitting. You can add these, join these knitting groups, and guess what? Make friends in these groups. That's your second way to do it. Create friendships in these groups. Now, what's incredible, and this works. There is one of the girls, she's one of the top sellers in the company. She's only green status, but she sells like $10,000 to $15,000 every month. And she posts like nothing on her personal wall ever. She doesn't have a business page. And I was like, what do you do to make so much money? Like, what do you do? She's like, oh, I just spend all my day talking to people. I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, I go into groups. I'm like a part of this group and that group and this group, and I just talk to people all day. I'm like, wow. So she just talks to people and makes friends. And so I'm sure this just blew your mind. You're like, what? She doesn't have a business page. She doesn't have a lot of posts on her wall. Like, what? And so this does work. Being relational, creating relationships, talking to people does work because that's all she does in her business. And I think she's in the top 10 with sales so far in the company since, what was it, August. Okay, so it works. It definitely does work. So that's your second way. Support groups are great. Yes, ADHD, bunch of others. Yeah, so if you run out of people to talk to, join a group. All right, I'm going to show you guys some other ideas. So another idea that you could really go to is you could go to Meetup. Okay, so it totally depends on your network, like where your city is at, but you can get this app on your phone. It's called Meetup. Now, what's really cool about this is you can type in a hobby. So if you like to dance, okay, dancing, you can pull that up and look for groups. And these are basically meetup groups. So these are groups in your local city that meet up regularly and basically for you to meet new people. So if you are like into Latin ballroom dancing, you can join this group and go to their local meetup whenever they have a time that they hang out. Look, 1,600 members that are local and that go or attend this meeting in some way. That's new people you can meet and make friends with. Sometimes you might have to get outside of your home to meet people, okay? So that is a really great app to use and get on your phone is the Meetup app. Another one is Bumble, okay? You can get this on your phone too. Don't be scared. It's gonna be okay. So Bumble, let me sign in really quick. Bumble. So when you go onto Bumble, you can change the settings to Bumble BFF. This is usually a dating app, but it has a setting where you can change to BFF, and that's where you can find your new best friend. So this, you set it to, your city and town, and basically you look at these people in their profile, you look at what they like, who they are, and then you can just start talking to them. You can send them a message. You can swipe to the right or to the left, depending on if you like them, if you don't like them, if you want to be their friend, and then start conversations with people in the chat. And then you can eventually plan to meet up with them because they live in your local town, and you can get to know people that way. I've done this as well. I've done Meetup and I've done Bumble, and they both work, okay? That's both ways you can meet new people. Awesome. So let me stop sharing for a second, and let's see what else we have on my list here. The last thing is local groups. You might already be a part of a group that maybe you're not friends with everyone on social media. So if you have a local moms group you already go to, a local Bible study you go to, if you have anything local, like maybe a gym you go to, if you're already going to certain kinds of groups, just become friends with the people that you already see, right? Okay, so if you go to church, maybe make more friends with the people at church. I've made friends with the older women at my church that are like in their 40s and 50s, and I've become friends with them because they go to my church, and a lot of them order from me and support me in my business. Yesterday, I went to a baby shower. Go to these things. Go to baby showers. Go to graduations. Go to things like that. And I sat with older women, that aren't my age. And we just sat there and we talked about marriage, and we talked about this and that, babies and whatever. And they know me because I've created relationships with them and through social media and through knowing them at my church. Okay. So those are your 5, okay, to find new people. So I'm going to plug in my computer just right here really quick. All right. So that's a great way to find new prospects and new people. And here's a really great thing to remember. If you're meeting someone in person and maybe you don't have them on social media, and maybe you're getting to know them for the first time, say, hey, what's your name on Facebook? That's it. Hey, what's your name on Facebook? Instead of saying, hey, can I add you on Facebook? Just say, hey, what's your name on Facebook? And pull up your phone. And then they'll tell you. Okay, you don't have to ask. Just say, hey, what's your name on Facebook? If you've already, maybe you struck a conversation with them, and that's a really great way to get their contact information without saying, hey, can I have your phone number? Or, hey, can I have your Facebook? What's your name on Facebook? Okay? All right, so let's talk about building relationships. Here's what not to do. I need a sip of water for this. Okay, what not to do. Never go into a sales pitch in your first message. That's how you turn people off, right? Don't ever do that. You're like, hey, Rachel, what, do you want to buy this mascara from me? I just started my own business. I'm so excited. This mascara is like the best thing ever, and you totally need it. Do you want to buy it? Okay, stop. Don't do that. Be a person. Would you do that to meeting someone for the first time face to face? No, that would be mortifying. Don't do that on Facebook. Just because they can't see you does not mean it's not embarrassing. Okay. Number 2, don't send them links in Messenger. I hardly ever send someone my website unless they say, hey, I want your website. Okay. If they don't ask for it, I never send it to them. And so I don't say, hey, here's my website if you want to buy anything. Hey, here's my website if you want to check it out. Hey, I just started a new business. Here's my website. What? No, people do that to me all the time, and I feel bad for them. I'm not going to buy from you just because you sent me a message with your link. That's super spammy, so don't do that. And the last thing is number 3, and you're probably going to be like, what? Don't copy and paste messages. When I give you guys message ideas, these are things that I've created in my tone of voice, if that makes sense, how I would say it. So if you're copying how I say it, they're going to be like, that's not you, that's Bethany. So when you take something, see if you can change it to sound more like you. When I first started, some of my leaders, they sent out wording, and they would always say, eek, E-E-E-E-K. And I was like, Like I never say eek. Like, but then like I was supposed to like copy and paste these messages with eek, and I was like, and I know someone else in our team, she's Canadian, and a lot of my messages are like, hey girl, you know, and now I try to use people's names, but she messaged me, she's like, people in Canada don't ever say girl. So it's like so weird for you to say, hey girl. So if a Canadian person on our team was just copying and pasting messages to all their Canadian friends, they'd be like turned off because she keeps saying, hey girl, like she's American. So that's why you want to make it your own. All right. So those are the 3 not to do. So let's talk about how do you start a conversation. So number 1, genuine compliment. Number 2, relate to them if you can. Try to find common ground to relate to them. Number 3, ask a question. If I could encourage anything, ask a question so that they actually respond to you. Okay, asking a question is going to get the best results. Okay, so number 1, genuine compliment. Number 2, relate to them. Number 3, ask a question. Okay, so in order to do this, you have to know something about them. So you go stalk them, and it's okay, I give you permission. You're gonna go to their profile, and you're gonna look at what do they do, where do they live, what do they like to do, what are some of their hobbies, what do you guys have in common? Maybe look at their profile picture, notice something about them, notice something about their kids. Maybe they have the same amount of kids as you, maybe they don't have kids, maybe they just got their first home. Try to notice different things and then send them a message and try to relate to what you've noticed about them and say, you know, you could say, hey Jan, I was just scrolling through my Facebook and I saw your news feed, and can I just say I love the relationship that you and your husband have. You guys are super inspirational, and I love hearing more about your journey. And I myself have been through crazy stuff, and I'm married to someone that's from a different country as well, so we have that commonality. So how did you two meet? Okay, notice how like that she's going to answer to. Right? She's going to respond to that because first of all, I complimented her, I related to her, and then I asked her a question. So if maybe it's a mom, I'm going to pretend I'm a mom. So you're going to say like, let me see, who here has mom? Natalie. Okay. So I'm like, hey, Natalie, oh my goodness, your kids are the cutest. I saw you post a picture of you guys making cookies together, and it's adorable. I also have 2 kids, and I don't know if they're the same ages or not, but when I saw that picture, it just warmed my heart because I love doing things like that with my kiddos. So how old are your kids? Or, you know, I don't know. What else do you guys like to do as a family? You know, great conversation. Okay, so those are how to create conversations. Another great way to create conversations, go through Facebook and look at whose birthday it is. Okay, so I just thought of something that I haven't been doing, but what I usually do is I say, hey, Emily, happy birthday, girl. I hope you have an awesome day celebrating. And then when they respond, I usually ask them what they're doing. But it probably would have been a lot better to ask them what they're doing in the first initial message. I just realized that. So instead say, hey, Emily, happy birthday. I hope you have so much fun celebrating. Any special plans? Okay, putting it all together in one. And then, you know, that's a really great way to start a conversation that way. Now, your first initial conversation might not lead to where you want it to go, like as far as talking about your business, but that's okay. You want to be a real person, okay, and create relationships. And people are going to remember that you are a real person. Now, once you've created relationships with people, how do you transition that into talking about your business? Okay, so I'm going to give you guys 5 ways to do that. Okay, first, number 1 is be a likable person through what you post on Facebook. Okay, so when you post on Facebook, you want to look at what you're posting and you want to be a person that people want to know. like intriguing, a person that's interesting. So like ask yourself, what are my passions? And you can even post a thing that says, what are the 3 things that you remind you of me? What are the 3 things I'm passionate about? And formulate your post around that, like where it draws people in other than just posting all the makeup. So like I draw people in to wanting to know more about me and feeling connected to me because I do music. And then I talk about my relationship and my marriage a lot. And I talk about my relationship with God a lot. And so people connect to me through that because they realize she's a real person and I can relate to her in some of those ways. Okay, so asking yourself, like, am I a likable person? Am I posting and stuff? Don't be posting just like shares of other stuff. And you're going to find this from your Facebook algorithm. Like, you don't want to just copy and paste and share and share and share other things. Like, you want to be creating original content if you want your Facebook algorithm to be well. So if you want a good example, go to my personal profile and look at what I've posted to look at, okay, how is she trying to connect with people other than makeup? Okay, and trying to create connections through different things. So maybe one of your connections is through your kids and what you guys like to do as a family and posting about that, okay? Number 2 is share your personal testimony and story often. People will relate to you when they know your story. So your personal testimony can be your personal testimony with products. So you can talk about a struggle that you've had and then how this certain product solved that problem. So for me, I would say for so many years, I was really, really self-conscious about my skin. In high school, I broke out so much, like on my forehead. I had like that dot right in the middle of my forehead. It was super embarrassing. And I just didn't know how to, get the best coverage. I found a foundation that I liked because it gave me coverage, but it wouldn't blend smoothly and it always felt heavy on my skin. And so I just used it because it was the best one I could find. But it was super frustrating trying to find a foundation and spending money on, on things that weren't working. So when I tried the liquid foundation, I was like, okay, let's see if this works. And I was blown away because, first of all, it feels light on my skin. It doesn't feel cakey. It goes on so easily. And I don't feel like I have to like wash my mask off at the end of the day. So it made me feel a little bit better because I'm not wasting all this money and I found something that really works. Does that feel relatable? Right? Because you shared your struggle like with trying to find something that would work, nothing that would work, and how you found a solution to that. Now, your story can be about anything. I mean, you might want to share your story about something else. Maybe your story about being a mom, your story about doing certain things as a wife. Like for me, like I like to share my story of how I'm trying to be a better wife and learning about love languages and how I've struggled figuring out how to love my husband the way he wants to be loved. So sharing your story and your struggles is what will make people relate to you and connect to you. And when people feel connected, they trust you and then they buy from you, right? I buy from people that I trust. So like, who do you ask where to go eat? Who do you ask where is the best place to do this or do that? Your friends, right? So you're not going to ask for my opinion on makeup unless you trust me. All right, so sharing your story can be also about like your story with the business. You want to share like, hey, my background's in music, and for the longest time, I struggled trying to find a way to make money with the things I was passionate about. And so I was pursuing so many different things that I loved and I was passionate about, but what people would always tell me is money doesn't grow on trees and you can't do things that you love. But I didn't want to do a job that I hated. I didn't want to wake up every morning and dread going to work. So when I finally was introduced to this business, I was hesitant because I wasn't sure what it was all going to include. But what I realized is that this is the answer to me being able to finally pursue something I love and take care of my family and have that financial income. And I'm so excited that I can finally have both. Something simple like that, okay? All right, so that was number 1 and number 2. Number 3, go live, okay? People tell me all the time that they feel like they know me because they watch me. And I would say majority of the people on the training right now, they watched me live. And they joined me because they trusted me, because they felt like they knew me from my live tutorials. Can I get an amen? Shaking of the head? Yeah. Okay. Rachel's giving me a thumbs up. See? So when you go live, it's unedited. It's not scripted. I mean, maybe your first few ones are scripted. It's okay. I did the same thing. But it's usually unedited, and you make mistakes. You laugh at yourself, hopefully. And that's what makes you real. Okay? And number 4, this one's a really important one. You use keywords. Keywords. Guess what, you guys? This is how I get people to start talking about the business with me. So I friend people through those 5 ways, okay? Parties, for example. And then I create relationships in Messenger. And then I track them to me through what I post and do on Facebook. And then I use keywords to trigger them to see who is ready, okay? So some people don't do it right away, but maybe 6 months down the road after creating the relationship, I say, hey, I have a huge deal on the foundation this month. Say color match, and I can color match you. Susie Q, who I met 6 months ago in a party, says color match, and now I have permission to start that conversation with her. Because she asked for it, I'm going to give it to her, right? It's a lot easier when someone asks for it, because I don't feel like I'm pushing her because she asked for it, right? So that's one of the ways, but you can't always expect people to comment on your posts, right? Sometimes it doesn't happen. So I'm going to show you guys some other ways to do that. There was a 5th way, I'm trying to remember, I didn't write it down, of how to transition the conversation. So a really great way to kind of transition the conversation. So if you've created a relationship with someone, and someone always asks me, like, when is the right time? You know what? It's a little bit harder, but sometimes if someone likes your makeup post, or if someone shares it, and then it might be a great time because they've seen what you're doing. Now, if you're never posting on your personal wall, how are they ever going to know what you do? Right? They're never going to know. If it's a secret, then no one's going to know. So if someone likes something, then I know they see it, and I can message them and I say, hey girl, thank you so much for showing some support on my post. It means the world to me to have your support in that way. I'm curious, have you ever thought about, okay, so I'll say, I'm curious, have you ever thought about doing this business with me? And the problem is, most people don't know what your business is, right? Because you've been keeping it a secret, you never talk about it, or maybe you talk about it once a month. You like get really excited, you post about it one day, and then 3 weeks later, you post about it again. When you say, have you thought about doing this business with me? They're like, what? What do you do? Okay, so you have to be consistent for people to know what you do. Another great way is like, when you're talking to someone, okay, you can kind of finish up the conversation, and like, let's say you guys were talking to say, hey, listen, Linda. Hopefully you guys know what I'm talking about. Hey, listen, Megan, I really enjoyed getting to know you today, and I would love to continue getting to know you better. But I'm curious, would you be open to, okay, so you can say, hey girl, hey Megan, hey listen Megan, it's been great getting to know you today. I would love to continue getting to know you and pursuing this relationship, whatever. I'm curious, would you be open to trying the Epic Mascara for 14 days and giving me your feedback on it? I'm curious, would you be open to checking out a short video on what I do in this business? I'm curious, would you be open to me sharing my story with you of how I started this beauty business? I'm curious, would you be open to me color matching you for the liquid foundation? I'm curious, would you be open to me throwing an online beauty class for you and your friends so that you could earn some free products? What do you say? Okay, so you can always end a conversation like that. Say, hey, listen, You always want to say something like, listen, hey, listen, it's been great getting to know you. It looks like we have a lot in common. I would love to pursue this more. I would love to talk to you more. I'm curious. Have you ever thought? I'm curious. Would you be open to? Okay. So that's how you can transition conversations with people. All right. So I guess the last part is how to transition is the listen. Linda, have you ever thought, or you can say, would you be open to? Okay. So if I could summarize this into a really easy thing is make friends as quickly as possible. Be a real person. Be genuine to who you are. Talk about your business by sharing your story and not sharing just a product. Okay? Like, don't post a picture of products. Post a picture of your face and tell your story, because your story is never wrong. If you say that you love this foundation, who are they to tell you you're wrong? Because that's your personal experience. Okay? If you say that your life has been changed by this business and it's giving you more confidence, who are they to say that you're wrong? But they can say you're wrong if you say, you post that, a picture of a product and say, this, and this, all of the details of the product, and it increases your lashes by 400%, all that stuff. But if you say your personal experience, I've noticed my lashes look longer, they can't say no to that. Okay? So I'm going to open it up. I would love, let's see. Yeah, so Emily, if no one uses your keywords, that means you need to grow your network and find new people. So using those 5 things I talked about. So if your keywords aren't working, then find new people. Monica says keyword examples would be color match, say me below for this, all that stuff. Don't do that to me. I didn't even respond yet. And Emily asked me to try their products. Yeah. Okay, so Britt said I had someone friend me the other day and immediately asked me to try their products. I was like, nope, I didn't even know what she was selling. See? Okay, awesome. So I would love to hear from at least 1 or 2 people, what was the most useful thing for you from this call? Anyone want to share what was the most useful thing for you through this call? I am going to, hold on. I wanted to screenshot you guys really quick too. Can we get a picture? You guys know I love you guys. All right. So you can raise your hand too, but let me get a picture really quick. Everyone smile. If you miss smiling, it's not my fault. Smile. Okay. Who wants to share one thing that they feel like was the most useful? Anyone? Okay. So Jita, go ahead, beautiful.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. So what I'm learning is I had a hard time understanding how to communicate with people. Yes, I have viewers. Yes, they comment, but it's usually my mom. So it's like I can't just constantly beg my mom to buy products. So I really like that you had these meetings, and this really is helping me to see it a little bit different, because you read it, but then when you really talk about it, I love it. So thank you.
Yay, you're welcome. Yeah, so now you see 5 different ways to start meeting new people and growing your network, because if you just sit in the one circle of friends and family and keep talking to your mom, it's never going to work, right?
It's not. They are. I always say, thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Mom. Awesome. Thank you, Jita. All right, who else wants to share? And you can raise your hand or say, okay, Rachel, go ahead, dear.
Hey, so I think the biggest thing, and total testament, was last night when I went live. I had 3 ladies, boom, 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 send me the deal. And it was a huge eye-opener. And I'm like, wow, I can do this.
So you use keywords, is it what you're saying?
I did use the keywords, but actually going live, it was amazing. And it wasn't as scary as I had envisioned.
Well, congratulations on going live. I know that is definitely scary the first time around. Like, you can't.
Yeah.
But you did it, and that positive feedback, that must have felt really, really good.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you so
Thank
much, Rachel. All right, we still have about 2.5 minutes. So anyone else want to share one thing that you felt like was useful? All right, Jen.
Oh, hey there.
Angie
So yeah,
will be next.
getting out, just like going out and like the Meetup app and stuff like that, and really networking and showing your face, because like, yes, I think live on Facebook, it gives you that personality and that lets people see you. But then there's a whole new level when it's like face to face with people, and being so simple as like, oh, so what's your name? Like on Facebook, like keeping it simple like that. But yeah, and it's something to do too, you know, so it's a win-win.
Yeah, totally. And it's good to like get out and try new things and meet new people. And so remember, your business isn't limited to one thing. So social media is great, because if you're time constrained and maybe you're a mom and you like, I don't have time to like be real with people face to face, that's okay. But if you have it and you're like, hey, I'm a face to face person, that's an awesome way to branch out and do that too.
Yes, I have lots of time now. Lots of time.
Thanks, Jen. All right, so I see Angie. Go ahead, girl. What was the most useful thing for you?
So I think that getting out and meeting people or like building relationships, that is like, I try to stay in my own comfort zone all the time. That's like scary for me, because I'm not like a face-to-face person, or like even at convention or when I go to church, I sit by people that I know. And so I have like all kinds of unique shirts and bags and stuff. And me and my husband will be out and about, and I get compliments all the time on, oh, your shirt's cute, or oh, your purse is really cute. And I'm like, okay, thank you. And I just walk away, and my husband's like, there was your shot, your chance to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't do it. I just keep walking.
Yeah, that's a really great reminder. And we're almost out of time. It's less than a minute. So, Emily, I'm going to give you a chance, but if it cuts out, I'm sorry. So, Emily, go ahead.
Really quick, what do you think about home parties? Because I noticed that a lot of my people like to get makeovers. I've never offered
great
that
idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I don't have a lot of product. I just have what I buy myself and what I use. So I wanted to know, even if you don't have, the money to buy products like that, how would you do a makeover party for your friends?
I wouldn't do it on each person. I would use one person as a model and show it all on one person. You could even use it on yourself, and then you can pass